Welcome back to the channel, ladies. I'm Christina, your Christian fitness and nutrition coach. And today I want to share with you some nutrition tips on fats. And I also want to share with you some of the oils and butters that all contain fat, but why I like to use these ones and avoid some of the other ones. And this has been a transition in my household over the last decade. It didn't always look like this. But interesting thing about fats. So sometimes we hear that word and we think, but no, we don't want to avoid fats. Our body needs fats. You know, we need a really nice balance of macronutrients, right? Which includes fats, which we want good fats, right? Then we also want carbohydrates and we want protein. So when it comes to fats, there are three different categories that I like to say like the best choice, in the middle, and what to avoid. So when it comes to fats, we're looking for unsaturated fats. That's the better choice. Saturated, we want not too much of. You don't have to avoid it completely, but we want to minimize that. And then we want to really avoid trans fat. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your labels and, you know, when you figure out what's, you know, the ingredients of what's in your foods. That's another whole another topic if you guys want to learn about ingredients and how to read them. But oils, we're talking about oils right now, and some butter. Now, back in the 1800s, in that century time, everyone was using lard, and they finally came to the conclusion like lard's bad for you. So during this time around, I don't know, 1911 or sometime around there, they started to use, you know, Crisco came out, and vegetable oil was a very big thing, and they said, hey, this is better than lard. This is going to help reduce, you know, just help you be better with your health and reduce probably the heart problems and stuff. Little do they know that it's probably causing most of our heart issues, right? Because 10 years after Crisco and vegetable oil came out, that's when we started seeing a lot more issues with heart disease. So vegetable oil at the time, before it was like a food, right, an oil that we actually consume, it was actually used for like lubrication for machinery. It was like the WD-40, isn't that crazy? And so they somehow just, you know, they hydrogenated it, right, which they process it to where it like tastes better. And it goes through like a crazy process. I think it's like 16 or 17, don't quote me exactly, but it's like there's a factory that they kind of show you this documentary of like how it's really processed, and it's unhealthy, okay? At the end of the day, we want to avoid vegetable oil. And now they're coming out with like, wait a minute, we were wrong all these years. It maybe too much vegetable oil is not good for you. So it's so hard to trust what they're telling us these days, because it's like there's so many controversies. Even when it comes to coconut oil now, they're saying it's not good for you, but it's really like maybe in moderation we should have coconut oil, right? But out of all these, let's go over what I like to use. Again, I avoid the vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil. That's a tricky one. And if you, believe it or not, just check out a lot of your boxes of like processed foods. You're gonna just flip that thing over and you're gonna see soybean oil or sunflower oil and like everything. Now, I'm not saying you cannot have it. I just personally try to avoid as much as I can. I got kind of sad because I just bought this hummus from Costco, and I watched this lady on Instagram. I love how she reads ingredients, and she brought it to my attention that there is some not the best oils in some of the hummus I use. So I was like, oh, they sneak it in everything. It's not just in a jar all liquidy. Now it's like in salad. Well, it is liquidy, but they have it in salads now, in dressings, salad dressings. So it's like, Lord help us. So yeah, I try to avoid those, and there's a few others I might list down in the description that you can check out as well. But my number one choice would always be extra virgin organic olive oil. So I use that in the oil form. I also like it, obviously the spray, same thing, but just, you know, cooking my eggs and stuff. I also like avocado, so you can cook foods at a higher temperature with avocado and it can handle that. Again, when you're doing like vegetable oils and soybean oils, once that hits the heat, it releases some toxins in your oils, and that's why the whole way they're hydrogenated and they're processed to such a degree where it's like it's so unhealthy for us, and there's so much more trans fat and more saturated fat in those oils compared to these oils. So yes, this and some of this ghee butter will probably have some saturated fats in them, but they're not as large as the other oils. And again, we take this in smaller quantities. So again, I'm always gonna pick olive oil first and avocado, all right? So there's a couple different brands. I just like to get these ones. They're usually the most affordable because they're at Costco. You like to buy things in bulk. And that's another thing. You'll notice that these are all priced higher, right? Because the vegetable oils, the way they're processed, the way they're so cheap, usually that's a huge indicator that it's probably not the healthiest for you. So, and you know what? I get it. Like when you transition from something you're used to something a lot healthier, it takes time to train the palate of your mouth, right? Because when you are so accustomed to eating a certain way, which by the way, vegetable, canola, there's more, I can't think of it on the top of my head, but these oils are everywhere. Like every restaurant you go to, this is what they deep fry their food in. And even like you can go somewhere and you think, oh, I'm just gonna have a healthy chicken with a side of, side salad. Like beware, it's gonna be in your dressing possibly. Beware, you don't know that restaurant, they probably saturate that chicken in not the best quality oil. I'm sorry, friends. It's just the truth. Like, challenge the restaurant, ask them, hey, can you let me know like what kind of oils? And they have to tell you, but you're just going to be shocked how unhealthy some of the restaurant food can also be. That's why, when you're trying to eat better, like it's best to eat at home as much as you can and just be aware of what you're consuming. Like what are the ingredients of your packaged foods, of your dressings? They're always hidden in those salad dressings. So, but thank you, God, for just showing us the light, right? To show us things that we can switch out. And it takes time. Like when I first had avocado oil, it wasn't my favorite. But over time, I trained the palate of my mouth to acquire a taste for this. And now I love it. Like I use it when I make eggs. Yeah, it may be a little harder to like kind of flip those eggs over. It's just not as smooth for some reason as the old canola oil I used to use, but it works. It works. And I don't go crazy with the coconut oil, but I like that on my sweet potatoes. It just tastes a little better. I don't go crazy with coconut oil. I lean again more towards these two. And this one I'm still trying to get accustomed to, but I'm just trying small steps. So if you can, start here, these are the better choices that I would recommend as your fitness and nutrition coach. All right, so I hope you learned something and let me know what kind of oils, maybe some of the information you learned. Is there something new learned? Is there something that you have questions about? Because I know there's always questions and I know everyone's gonna have disagreements on some of the things and that's okay, but this is what I do for me and my family. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.